Welcome everyone to the December 16th meeting of Public Council for the Town of Conception Bay South. And we start this meeting, as we start all of our meetings, with the land acknowledgement. The Town of Conception Bay South would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk, and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk. We also respectfully acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Innu of Nitassinan, the Inuit of Nunatsiavut, and the Inuit of Nunatuavut. We strive for respectful partnerships with all the peoples of the province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. Next, we have the adoption of the meeting agenda. It'll be moved by Councillor Barrett, seconded by Councillor Hardy. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. And next up is the adoption of the meeting minutes from the December 2nd public meeting, moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Deputy Mayor Goss. All in favor? Contrary minded? And that is carried. Next up is visitors, and we have some special visitors with us this evening. I'd like to invite members of the Musically Inclined Choir and their leader, Carrie Kao, to come on up. And we're going to get everybody into the festive spirit here this evening before we begin our meeting with some special songs from this group. Thank you very much for coming. There we go. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. As I was introduced, my name is Carrie. I am the co-owner of Musically Inclined here in Conception Bay South. We actually have a combined group for you this evening. We have some of our musical theater and girls choir and some private vocal students together. So we have an eclectic group of our students, and we'd like to thank them all for taking part this evening. We're going to sing a few Christmas carols to open up the council meeting and hopefully get you all into the Christmas spirit. And thank you so much for the invitation.
Oh, I think we need a picture with all of council. I think we do. I can't let Councilor Hilliard go home at that time get me the picture. Well, thank you very much, everyone. That was absolutely fantastic. I know you worked real hard on that, and we really appreciate you coming in here and giving us probably one of the better starts to the council meeting we've ever had. Thank you very much to the young singers from Musically Inclined, and thank you to their leader, Carrie Kao, for bringing everyone out this evening before Christmas. Thank you to the moms and dads, and probably maybe a nanner pop back there for coming out. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Merry Christmas, everyone. All right. Okay, to follow that up, Deputy Mayor, you have a recommendation for us on the budget.
Sure do. Okay. Budget 2026. Be it so resolved that the town of Conception Bay South accept the balanced budget hereby tabled for the fiscal year of 2026 in the amount of $47,577,627 and the 2026 schedule of rates and fees as presented. And further, be it so resolved that the 2026 municipal budget submission form be submitted to the Minister of Municipal and Community Affairs for review and acceptance. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Hillier. Any discussion?
It's been a busy day. A long day. This afternoon, we did a media piece, and this evening, we brought down the budget. I think it's a great budget. There's a lot of really good things there. You know, we worked really hard together on this budget as a council and with staff, and appreciate all that the staff has done in, you know, guiding us, directing us, and supporting us, and helping us achieve the initiatives that we have in mind. You know, this is the beginning of our term, and while eight of us are, you know, back again, and it's our fifth budget, we welcomed having Councillor Clooney at the table to have his voice, and it's been another positive experience. And I think I'm really proud of the work that we've done. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any other comments? Councillor Tilley, sorry, would you like to comment?
Thank you, Worship. Just want to touch on a few things. Obviously, as with every budget, you know, we try to be as fair as possible. I mean, you know, we love for 100% good news all the time. And I just want to touch on a few things. It's especially the number one thing for me is our debt reduction strategy. You know, we've decreased that by $2 million annually, so that certainly bodes well in favor of the work that our finance department does, for sure. The regional water costs, the deputy mayor did announce that obviously due to unbudgeted and unprecedented, I guess, increases in our water, which we receive from the Regional Water Services Board, which is controlled by the city. You know, we've got no choice really but to absorb that cost back to the residents. You know, I've had some people say in the past, you know, well, why don't we go find our own water source? And believe me, it's not that's not the cheaper option. I mean, sure, we can probably go find another water source, but then you got to build a water distribution plant and water purification plant, and you know, your $500,000 bill now floats into probably a $75 million. You know, it's something that, you know, the town. I think we're better off staying the course of what we're doing. So it's unfortunate, but it was one of those things that we do have to be cognizant of. Another thing is the very popular, I guess, the seniors discount, and of course under the new Towns and Local Service District Act, that particular discount is no longer allowed. So we had to make the strenuous choice to I guess axe that, for lack of a better word. You know, it's something that, you know, I thought long and hard about, but it's not something I'm going to lay my head on to decide whether or not I support the budget. We've made certain ideas come about that is going to help out the people who are in the greatest need. So we're happy with that. Accessible transit is something that we thought about a lot during the last couple of years. So we're happy to have the $100,000 for an accessible transit pilot program to start in 2026. And of course, our fire services. We all know the work that all of our emergency preparedness folks put in across all different levels of government over the past year, and we don't see it getting any better. So, you know, we're going to provide the necessary funds just to make sure that our firefighters are well trained, as well as our senior management staff when it comes to emergency preparedness as well. I don't want to take the limelight out of everything, so I'll just probably pass on to the next councillor and they can discuss more. Thank you.
Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship. I want to congratulate Deputy Mayor on the work that she's done with staff in bringing this forward. When you're starting out, the first budget after a new council is always a scramble, because you really don't get at it till the middle, towards the end of October. So there's been a lot of work done here since that time. And as with Councillor Tilley, I just want to highlight a couple of items. First of all, we've all heard the needs for public transportation, and we know that one system doesn't fit all, right? We know that there are people who want to go to Sobeys. We know there are people who want to go to the Health Science Centre, and we know that there are people around town who have trouble getting around anywhere. So I guess what we've done with this is taken one of those pieces and decided to pilot it, and that piloting is to facilitate some of our disabled people, and I'm sure they'll be looking forward to that. Your Worship, last night we reached 140 kilometers an hour wind in the area. We had a drought this summer. Subsequently, we had a host of wildfires, and it's good to see money going into the budget to help offset the training and equipment that we'll need in preparation for what we're told will be the new norm environmentally. From a planning point of view, some budgets ago we included a fee for reductions for developments on provincial and federal programs, and it's great to see that there again. So we know that there are developments taking place in town as a result of that federal funding, that provincial funding, and we'd like to think our input as well. And we know that there are residents in town, in their own homes, that require smaller accommodations, and it's great to see that there as well. Your Worship, last two councils made a commitment to reduce spending, and I believe we were successful in 5 of 8 years with minimal increases in mill rates in a couple of those other years just to balance the budget. But in a town of this size and growing this fast, this can't last forever, and eventually we have to open the purse strings and play catch up, basically. And this has significantly impacted the budget that Deputy Mayor has brought down today. And while we're spending a significant amount of more money, there's nothing there that's being wasted whatsoever. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. It's always good when we can have a budget where there's no increase in the mill rate for residents and also for commercial, so that's a good news story in itself. For me personally, and it's already been mentioned a couple of times, but I am going to mention it again because I did advocate for it in my last term, and it was one of the things I ran on, and that was the public transit system. So we're looking at a pilot project for those who most need it, starting off. And I think it will be in CBS service, just here in CBS right now. We have to start somewhere, so $100,000 allotted for that pilot project. And I look forward to discussions with the rest of council and residents as to what that may look like in the months to come. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Your Worship. And thank you, Deputy Mayor, again for bringing forward another budget for us. And to all of our fellow councillors, because I know we spent a lot of hours, and to our newly elected councillor, we certainly spend a lot of hours making sure we're able to stretch a residents' dollar as far as we can. And to the directors who are able to hold their budgets, find ways to be a little bit more creative and still keep the services we want for our residents. So certainly appreciate all the directors' work as well there. And big thank you to Ms. Davis, our Director of Finance, who always keeps us compliant to make sure we're staying on the right path and that we're not doing anything that would jeopardize the town, our finances, or to Councillor Hillier's verbiage a minute ago about us keeping our debt in place. So I certainly use our town of CBS debt strategy in other conversations I had in some other positions. So I know what we're doing here is right. So I'd love to see it being, used elsewhere in other places. But I'm very excited we're able to hold strong and keep our mill rate and commercial rate status quo. Although we may have had to get a little bit creative on our seniors' tax reductions to ensure we are remaining compliant, I feel that we're still able to give those tax reductions to the seniors that need it the most. So while we had to be a little bit more creative, we were able to boost up some of the percentages for the other tax reductions for our seniors. So I certainly think the seniors who are affected will absolutely appreciate that. And like others, I'm looking forward to the $100,000 investment into our accessible transit pilot program. I feel it's very strong, and we're going to be able to help those in our community who are facing the barriers in accessibility and services, grocery stores, doctor's appointments, just being able to get from, one end of town to the middle to the other end of CBS. So I certainly think it's going to be very welcomed with the residents. And our fire services, that investment again, I hold our fire department services very near and dear to my heart. So, anyone who's had to avail of their services, just know the men and women that work at that department, being able to ensure they have the tools, the resources, the training they need to be able to perform at their optimal performance. I will absolutely always make sure I'm able to do what I can for the fire department and all of our departments within the town. So being able to also do something for the engineering and public works department with some of the fleet and stuff. I think we're putting, our residents, but we're also putting our staff at the forefront of our budget as well. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Councillor Morris.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. I'm going to try not to be too repetitive, but I do want to thank Deputy Mayor for all of the work that she put in today and leading up to this, and of course our Director of Finance and everyone, because everyone has played a part in this. A couple items, I guess, that stand out to me and that I've heard from residents about over the last number of years, the public transit, of course, and I do feel as a council that we've really put a lot of thought and effort into that, especially in our last term. We wanted to make sure we, I guess, went the right route and did something that was most feasible to our residents and for the town itself. So I think this pilot project is going to be something that's going to work for us. I really hope so. So I'm glad to see that we're putting funding into it. The seniors discount, I do believe that, putting more money into people who need it most is what's really important, and I think our residents will appreciate that. And of course, one other thing is the Manuels River Center that a lot of residents I know have been asking me about, so I'm glad to see and happy to say that that will be opening in the new year, and our residents will be able to avail of it again. So I know they're all missing it, and that we're putting some funding into that. And I think, it goes without saying that this council and staff put a lot of effort into making sure our budget really serves the people best, and that we do what we can to make sure everyone's supported equally. So I'm really proud of this budget, and I want to thank everyone that was involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Your Worship. And thanks to everybody here this evening for all their input on the budget. Thank you, Deputy Mayor and Director of Finance, Liz, and also everybody that had their say in the budget, whether it was during the election or the public engagement that we did with that. We certainly appreciate that, and all of that was considered as we come through here today. Very pleased. I think we have a lot to be proud of for this budget. I think we held the mill rate again this year, and we had a very marginal increase in our water tax. And wanted to echo what Councillor Tilley said, in that certainly incredibly disappointed about the decision of the City of St. John's to increase our water bill last year at the last minute, I might add, which is really to the tune of approximately $52 per property in the town of Conception Bay South. And so as a council, we felt it was prudent not to pass the entirety of this increase to residents. And so we essentially were able to cut that cost in half to taxpayers and try to absorb the rest of that. But beyond that, certainly a lot of things to be proud of. We're continuing our work on our regional wellness center and looking forward to more work on that in the new year. As Councillor Moore said, I believe 2026 is going to be a big year for Manuels River. We've put a lot of thought and energy into positioning ourselves up for success with that asset, and I'm confident that that will be a very versatile space for our residents and to provide a variety of services through that facility. Just to quickly echo what my colleague said, I think the successful transit pilot has a lot of potential, and I think over the coming months, we'll put that program to the test, and certainly there's going to be some refining needed as we unveil that, but looking forward to having a new service provided by the town. I know it's been long sought after from a number of folks, and I'm very pleased that we can do that again this year. And lastly, as Councillor Hillier and others mentioned, perhaps 4 years ago, I might have been beating the drum on climate change, but I think we need no convincing anymore, not that we did initially at all, but we really put our money where our mouth was this year, in particular when it comes to our coastline and especially emergency preparedness for wildfires and other emergencies. So I feel like we've done just that. Thanks to everybody in this room, and thanks to everybody that was involved in the budget, and certainly happy to be supporting this budget this evening. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Councillor Clooney.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to say thank you to Deputy Mayor with great budget. Thank you to all the staff who helped her with the budget and who worked on it. It's great to see, like I say, it's an eye-opener for me because first time on council, first time involved in budget and stuff like that, but it's interesting. And one thing I'm really happy about is the transit for the disabled people. I know more residents want more busing, but hopefully in the next couple of years, maybe we can expand on that and get to a point that we can get a bus that goes to St. John's, hopefully. That's about all I say. The budget, I'm happy with the budget, and it was a great job by everybody, and thank you, everybody for putting up with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Clooney, and certainly your views and insight were welcome, and we thank you for that. I guess it's me now, so I'll apologize in advance. I might be a minute. But want to thank especially the work of the Deputy Mayor presenting the budget this evening, the work that went into that, and all of my council colleagues. It's been a busy 2 or 3 months from elections right into the budget to here tonight, so it's finally presented. Special thank you to our Director of Finance and all the directors and the chief for giving their input from their department view on where they felt the town should go. And the biggest thank you of all to the residents who reached out during our survey, and of course those who spoke to our councillors. Not everybody went door to door, but the ones that did, they got the insight from the residents, and it was well heard. And of course, there's not money for everything, and nor will there ever be. But the job becomes then is prioritizing and making sure that we are doing our due diligence in making sure that the town is equipped to meet the services that are core, and then beyond that, of course, ensuring that whatever we do is staffed properly, supplied properly, and run properly from a safety standpoint. And of course, from a maintenance and ongoing and operational standpoint. So it is a bit of a tough task, but with the experience and the folks we have around the table here this evening, I believe we have got to the best point that we can get for this year, given the financial situation and the challenges that we have to face. I will say the one challenge that we didn't expect to face, and here we are, is that we found out late in the year that water was going to cost us an extra $466,000 in 2025 and another $511,000 in 2026. And we ate the $466,000. But water is one of those services that we separate in our taxes from our residential property tax. And we try to see that it finances itself. So when we get a water bill, the water tax you pay pays the water bill. We didn't feel, given what has happened in the last few weeks with regards to the water bill from the Regional Services Group, the Water Services Board, operated by the City of St. John's, that we should pass all of that on to our residents. And we decided not to do that in part from a couple of reasons. Number one, it would have been a jolt. I think, if I could, Councillor Barrett, I think you said 52. I think it was actually 62. And the finance director is nodding, so it would have been a $62 hit for every household in town. But the second part of that is we're very cognizant that when all of the residents got their municipal assessment notice this year, that many of them saw an increase in their assessment, which means, number one, the value of the property is assessed at a higher rate. Also, they'll be paying more taxes. And we knew that. And that number, I believe, after everything else, I think we're spending $3.2 million more this year over last year, was $1.7 million in residential tax increases. So what we did was we felt that we couldn't pass on the $62 for every household, that we cut that down to 30, and we have taken out of that revenue the other 32. Residents, make no mistake, the residents are paying for it one way or another, but it does take money out of revenue that we would like to have spent on other programming and increased other programming. Second to that, nothing is getting cheaper. And when things don't get cheaper, it affects those that are most vulnerable the most and the quickest and the hardest. And even though we are not doing our blanket seniors discount, and regardless of income, whether you make $1 million or $500, I suppose, we're not doing that this year. But what we are doing is that we are strengthening the discount that we pass on to those who need it the most. And for our seniors in receipt of GIS, which is the federal standard, and I checked today that the federal levels go up every year. They're assessed on cost of living. So that threshold changes from year to year, and I believe it starts out somewhere in the range of 22,000 for a single person to 53,000 to a household, depending on your circumstances and income. But that 25% will apply, 25% property tax reduction will apply to every senior in receipt of the GIS. And I'm very pleased that we are able to increase that amount. And even more than that, we recognize that it's not just seniors that struggle. There are young families out there. There are all kinds of people in all kinds of different circumstances that have trouble paying the bills. And so this year we have increased the low income amount from 10% to 25% as well. So what we're doing is we are doing our best to help those who need the help the most. And I'm pleased that we are able to do that. The next thing is safety. And anybody that knows the staff around here, man, safety is, they bang the drum on safety all the time. And of course, we look at every proposal they have, but I think the biggest eye-opener came this year when we were threatened by fire from one end of town to the other. And it really required a solid relook. But even without that, council had already approved a new pumper for next year. We approved a new pumper for our fire station for the year after that. Now we're increasing the budget for our fire department by close to $600,000 annually to ensure that they have the equipment and the training and everything that they need to help keep us safe as a community. We have to do that first. It starts with them, because when something goes wrong, they're the first people we look to. And we need to make sure that they're in a good place to be able to do that. But beyond that, residents have said to me, what are you doing? Like, how are we gonna keep the fires away? Is there anything we can do? And there is. And as part of that investment, we're investing in the Fire Smart program. And I know the chief knows all about the Fire Smart program, but it's one of those programs where as a council, we will be partnering with residents to get an education to show them the things that they can do to help keep the community safe. So that's part of it as well. So we're very keen on the safety end of it. And of course, as Councilor Barrett pointed out, we have a funding program with the federal government for shoreline mitigation for damage and so forth. And last night, I was almost sure I was going to wake up this morning and find out we had all kinds of damage along our coastline or anywhere else in town, and we didn't, I don't think, so I haven't heard anything yet. But that's an investment program that we're keen to do. Something that I'm really proud of is the fact that we have attained the Manuals River Community Center. We didn't pay for that, by the way, contrary to some belief. That was handed over to us. Now, we maintain it. We take on the expenses of it, and we improve it. And we're allocating money this year. And to be mindful of this, the 825 is not reflective of any revenue the facility is going to bring in. So the actual cost of operating that facility is less than what we budgeted to pay for the expenses to run the facility. But one of the things about that is that I'm very pleased to say that I was talking to our recreation director today, that facility is going to be open to the public in 2 months. It's going to be open for bookings, it's going to be open for programming, and a new area, not new area, but an area that's been repurposed downstairs next to the trail is going to be open to the public to use the washrooms, to come in and sit down, have a cup of coffee, bring your laptop in. It's going to be a community space that is not going to be 8:30 to 4:30. It's going to be open into the evening. It's going to be open in the morning. And I think the people that use our wonderful trail and be out on our lighted walk will really appreciate the accessibility that we're starting with Manuals River this year. And of course, we look to 27 for from some structural changes down there. But for 2026, it is going to get going as quickly as we can do it. And I'm told that 8 weeks is a good time frame. Might be a little shorter, might be a little longer, but that's great to get going. The Accessible Transit Pilot Program. So we heard from residents over the past year, and many of the residents that have mobility challenges do get some funding from the province to do some taxi rides. But what I've learned is that the money they get only basically gets them to health sciences twice a month. Or to a doctor or whatever it is, and the money's gone. And they are unable, and there are residents within our community that may not have the supports that a lot of us have, that are unable to get from their home to church from their home to a hockey game at the stadium, to get to the grocery store, to get to the places, things that we put off as a town for all of our residents. Some of them have barriers that they just can't get there because of their mobility challenges and because of the supports they don't have in place, and they don't have the funding to do it. And a lot of times the people that have mobility challenges are marginalized economically. And being able to offer a transit pilot program for people with physical, cognitive, sensory, or visual disabilities by covering an assessment, and then, of course, paying for their taxi ride anywhere in CBS. So I'm very proud to be able to make our community more accessible to those who don't feel it's very accessible at all. And I think it opens it up and makes it a better community for all of us. I won't go too much further. I did want to say that the fleet maintenance program that we have been involved in over the past couple of years, where we started leasing vehicles, has actually proved very well. We know that St. John's has done it about a year or so longer than us, and I know a neighboring community is starting it this year, and they're very pleased to see how it's worked for us. But when you've got a depot that's got one bay, and you got a 10-year-old vehicle that you got to send to a local garage, and it's got to sit there in line and wait for it to be fixed while residents are waiting for the road to be plowed or the hole to be dug to fix something, it's frustrating. So this program is certainly working out for us, and we're very pleased about it. I think that's just about it. But again, I want to thank everybody that was involved in this. These budgets, I don't think, get any easier. I don't know, I'm not as many as Councillor Tilley or Councillor Hillier, but I guess I'm next. And they don't get any easier. And we think a lot about them. We put a lot of effort into them, and we try to make sure that we are as fiscally prudent as possible, but at the same time, trying to chip away at the wants that our residents have and ensure that we cover off the needs. The last thing I will say is I am very pleased that we had a record commercial tax revenue this past year, and it goes a long ways to helping offset some of what would be further charges that residents may see. So we're going to continue to work on that, and we expect that to continue into the new year. So again, thank you everybody for working on this budget. Deputy Mayor, you have last say if you wish, or I can move to a vote, whatever you like.
No, I think you got it all covered.
Okay. Okay, and I'm sure everybody's happy that you said that. Okay, all in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. All right, new business. Deputy, start it off, if you'd like.
I'm just going to take a minute and just wish everyone a Merry Christmas, safe and happy Christmas and a Happy New Year to residents, to my fellow councillors, to our seniors, all of our staff, senior right on through, and look forward to working together with everyone again in the new year. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy. Councillor Hilly.
Yes, Your Worship, I want to say the same, but I can't be as eloquent. So I say I won't be as eloquent as Deputy Mayor, so I will just say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to one and all. Thank you.
It was heartfelt, though. That's the main. Councillor Tilley.
Oh, you caught me off guard. I thought you were going around in a circle. Again, just to reiterate on what my council colleagues said, on behalf of myself and my family, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all my fellow councillors and staff and residents of CBS, and hope the rest of this year and 2026 is a prosperous one. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Councillor Butler.
We'll start off a little different. We had our senior social, of course, and as you all know, it's always a great success. Everybody was in their festive attire, and the dance floor was full, and pretty sure that they all had a great time. I always enjoy it. But then I had to rush off and get a few turkeys in the pouring rain, and then get those turkeys delivered down in a muddy driveway or parking lot there. So that was kind of a bit of fun, but it was wonderful. The turkey drive was a great success, and I want to thank everybody who contributed. And lastly, but certainly not least, I also want to wish everyone here, staff, all the residents in Conception Bay South, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. All the best in 2026, and please be safe. Take care.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Your Worship. I too would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, safe and happy holiday, and look forward to seeing everyone in the new year. But just a couple of things that would be happening over the holidays. Our Tim Hortons New Year's family skate, December 31st, 2 p.m. It is always a good time, so certainly look forward to seeing everyone up there. And that same evening, we will have fireworks at 7 p.m. So certainly bundle up. Hopefully we don't have the same winds today, but stay tuned to the social media to see if that would be postponed. God forbid if we have the wind we had last night. But thanks, everyone. Have a good holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Councillor Barrett.
Thanks, Your Worship. Just to echo my fellow councillors, I want to wish everybody a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and thanks for all the support this year. And while you're over your Christmas holidays, please be mindful of your garbage collection pickup because the days do change. So please keep an eye on that calendar to avoid disappointment in your collection dates. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Councillor Clooney.
I'd like to say Merry Christmas to all staff, to the residents of CBS, and to the people in the gallery that sit back and keep everybody informed. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Morris.
Well, thank you. One thing I do want to bring up is the Santa Claus parade that we had, and just the number of actual floats that we have and the work that goes into them, and the Christmas spirit that's there in every float. It's just so nice to see, and congratulations to everyone who took the time to put a float in, because I thought it was a fantastic float. Even though I didn't have any of my children there watching it with me, I'm okay with that. Not. But yes, and of course, Merry Christmas to everyone, and I hope everyone has a lovely Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. I'll take a moment. What a great community. The Riley Mercer Toy Drive. We loaded the loader with turkeys, over 150 of them. We stuffed the fire truck with a few thousand pounds of food. We loaded the bus of Parsons and Sons the weekend up at Solby's. We're going to, from 2 to 4 this Saturday, we are going to cram the ZAM for Sam, which is we're going to take toys and food for the Sammy's Climb Higher Foundation. We're going to cram the Zamboni with all of that. So look forward to that. Breakfast with Santa at All Saints, Topsy United, and others. The photos with Santa for the toy drive. Theater CBS put off another excellent Christmas performance this year. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. There we were reminded. Thank you to the St. Peter's Men's Club for their wonderful Christmas dinner they had us out to. So a wonderful, caring, and generous community always at Christmas time. Thank you to everybody that supports all the events and many more that I didn't mention. Everybody seems to do a little bit this time of year, and it adds up to a whole lot. So thank you very much. Okay, do we have other committees reporting this evening? Nary one. Okay, we will move on to Finance and Admin and the People's Business, and we will go to, who will we go to? Councillor Tilley, take it away.
Thank you, Your Worship. The following are the recommendations coming from the Finance Administration Department. Item 6A, the 2026, excuse me for a second. 2026 council meeting schedule. Be it so resolved that the regular council meetings for 2026 be held on the following months. I'm not going to read them all out. Any changes to these dates will be advertised. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Butler? Any comment on that?
Nope.
All in favor? Contrary minded? That is carried.
Item 6B, Assessment Review Commissioner. Be it so resolved that the Town of Conception Bay South appoint Mr. Mitch Moran as the Appeal Assessment Commissioner for the year 2026.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Clooney, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this is just appointment of Mr. Moran as the Appeal Assessment Commissioner for any public consultations that we have for the year 2026.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6C, approval to pay council remuneration for the fiscal year 2026. Be it so resolved that approval be given for the disbursement of council remuneration as per the Towns and Local Service Districts Act and the Municipal Council's Remuneration and Reimbursement Regulations for the 2026 fiscal year as per the following schedule, which is April, July, October, and December. And the remuneration remains unchanged for 2026 fiscal year, which is the Mayor 46,079, Deputy Mayor 32,084.72, and Councillors 30,142.40. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Moores, discussion? No increase again this year, Santa?
No increase. No.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6D, policy regarding hazard recognition, evaluation, and control. Be it so resolved that the hazard recognition, evaluation, and control policy be adopted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, the purpose of this policy is to ensure that all workplace hazards have been identified and evaluated and that controls have been implemented to eliminate or minimize the risks associated with those hazards through all areas in our town.
Anybody else? Excellent policy. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6E, policy on musculoskeletal injury prevention. Be it so resolved that musculoskeletal injury prevention policy be adopted as presented. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Deputy Mayor Goss, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, the purpose of this policy again is to provide information on musculoskeletal injuries and establish responsibilities and procedures for identifying, preventing, and investigating said hazards. So that's it.
Any other comments? Good again. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6F is a policy on accident incident investigation policy. Be it so resolved that the accident and incident investigation policy be adopted as presented. So moved.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Butler, discussion?
Yes, again, the purpose of this is to provide consistent guidelines for all employees involved in an accident or an incident, ensuring that injuries, accidents, and illnesses are adequately investigated and reported, and that the corrective actions are undertaken to prevent similar injuries, accidents, and illnesses in the future.
Any other comments? As noted, safety is a priority. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6G, uncollectible business tax accounts. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust uncollectible business tax accounts as follows, as they are noted there. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Clooney, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And the last one for this evening, 6H, uncollectible property taxes. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust uncollectible property taxes as follows, and the tax accounts are so noted. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Barrett, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And Your Worship, that is the last for the Finance Administration.
Thank you very much, Councillor Tilley. And Engineering and Public Works is Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just one this evening, 7A, Water and Sewer Bylaw. Be it so resolved that the Water and Sewer Bylaw be adopted as presented. So moved.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Moores, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship. This is virtually the same as our water and sewer regulation. However, as per the new local government legislation, the Town and Local Service District Act, we need to change some semantics, so from regulation to bylaw and some of those things. So virtually still the same, just cleaning up based on new provincial legislation.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Planning and Development, I believe that would be Councillor Hillier. Yes.
Yes, Your Worship, we've got a couple of motions to bring forward this evening. Number 8A, be it so resolved that in accordance with section 10.113 of the Town's Development Regulations, application number 6183, proposing an extension to the front of the dwelling at 25 Access Place, be refused as consideration that the proposed building line setback does not meet the minimum 10-meter building line setback requirement. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? No Councillor Hardy? Further discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, I'd like to bring forward an amendment to this motion. And I guess I read it at this point in time. Be it so resolved that Council approve a proposal to build an extension to the house at 25 Access Place that would reduce the building line setback from 5 meters to 3.5 meters. So moved.
Do we have a seconder for the amendment? Deputy Mayor Goss. Voting on does anybody have anything to say about the amended motion we're now about to vote on?
Yes, Your Worship, this is a situation where we've got a couple looking to build a porch for easier access to their home. So notwithstanding that piece, we're on a street here where there's no standard setback. There are older homes there, there are newer homes. There are homes closer to the street than this one would be. It's a dead-end street, so there's no traffic, and the dead end becomes a pond eventually. So there's no potential for that street to be continued on. And so I'd like to see us approve this motion for this couple.
Any other discussion on this one? Yes. Councillor Tilley?
Yes, Your Worship, I'm going to definitely support the amended recommendation. I just got one question. I know, Councillor Kelly, you probably don't know the answer, but probably I'd like for something for the director to go back. I'm not too sure when that house was actually built, but I don't know if it was there prior to the Manuel's Access Road being constructed. Would that at any time probably, would the house been, I guess the building line setback with the addition of the Manuel's Access Road, would they have lost some of their setback? Is that something that we probably look at?
I think you've got a point there.
Yeah.
That's the street that I grew up on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that house wasn't there when I moved out of there in 1976. I was 3 at the time.
Yeah.
So most of those properties lost land when that went through there.
Because like I say, the original, I guess the original recommendation was for refusal, so I was just wondering, maybe would that be parcel of, with the, when the government did put the road in there, that they probably took away some of that setback, so. Be interesting if we can find it out.
Yeah, and they probably lost, it was certainly they encroached more when they upgraded the access road after the highway went through, but Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm also supporting the amendment this evening. The house, as of now, the setback isn't up to code, and that's just going to be the way it is. There's nothing we can do. It's a built structure, partially maybe related to some of the points that Councillor Tilley had just identified. And so I think if we're able to accommodate this situation, I would like to see that happen this evening. So I will be supporting the amendment.
Thank you.
I also will be supporting. I'd like to, do whatever we can to help this couple in this situation. So hopefully we can get that done.
Anyone else? Yep, Councillor Clooney.
Yeah, I also support the motion, and because of disability issues and whatever these people are having, I think we should approve it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, yeah, I think the only way this would be an issue is if we decide to build an overpass over the access road at some point in the future, or decide to fill in the pond for some reason, but there it is. So all in favor of the amended motion?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Hilliard.
Where am I? 500 Conception Bay Highway, non-compliance files. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 4.12 of the town's development regulations, permit number 22-M-005 for agricultural use, that is a hobby farm at 500 Conception Bay Highway, be revoked in consideration that the number of animals at the property exceeds what was approved by the town. And further, be it so resolved that in accordance with section 4.12 of the town's development regulations, permit number 21-C-089 for a home-based business that is a home office at 500 Conception Bay Highway be revoked in consideration that the commercial activities at the property exceed what was originally approved. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Tilley, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, as the motion reads, this resident had a permit for a hobby farm and a home-based business, and it has exceeded what was permitted in both cases. And I know I've spoken with neighbors in the area who have concerns, and we're going to revoke both those permits.
Anyone
Or we're
else?
going to move to revoke those two permits.
Okay.
Yes, Your Worship. You know, we try as best as we can to work with the residents for whatever type of application they want for their personal properties, but sometimes people, you give them an inch, they take a mile, and in this case, this is exactly what they did. So, you know, we had to do some type of enforcement for this particular property. We received several complaints from area residents, so I'll support this motion.
Anyone else want to speak to this? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? That is carried.
Number 8BA. Be it so resolved that under authority of Section 15 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the draft Conception Bay South Municipal Plan and Development Regulations 2026 be referred to government for determination and commentary and any provincial interests. So moved.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Tilley, discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, this is great to have this plan at this point to be able to submit to government. This is a project that started early in the 2021, maybe even before that. We got waylaid with COVID. We couldn't have public hearings on this. Then you have changes in council and changes in mindset and so on. So it's been slowed down, it's been delayed, and at this point it's fabulous to be able to see that we're now in a point to pass this off to government so they can have a look at it and then send it back to us, at which point in time we will still be in a position to have a final look and eventually bring it forward for approval.
Any other comment on this one?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago, Councillor Hilliard, we had some public consultations, and of course, we spent extensive time over this past year with the consultant to making sure that what they had written in their report reflected what we as a council thought was best suit the needs of the residents. So we're happy we're at this gesture, and you know, as like Councillor Hilliard said, you know, with COVID and change of councils and everything, you know, this sort of, we're probably a couple years behind what we would like to be, but we're certainly happy to see it at the stage where it is now for government approval, for a rubber stamp, and we'll certainly be addressing that in the 2026 calendar year.
Any further comments on these? Yeah, Councillor Barrett.
I just want to say this has been a big piece of work. It has been a long time coming. Kudos to certainly our planning staff and co-chairs for getting this along. I know we've, as Councillor Tilley mentioned, ideally have that out earlier, but very pleased that we were able to get this to the province within the end of this calendar year. I think it's a big win for us. So thanks to everybody involved on that.
Anyone else say anything about this? I will say that I took the last couple of days reviewing both the documents just to satisfy my own mind that the things that we had discussed, the big things we had discussed, actually got either removed or added, and I couldn't find any anomalies from what we said, so I'm happy to send it off. And of course, Councillor Hillier, we're sending it off to the province because a lot of it is a provincial area with regards to how we conduct our business here. So if it doesn't work for them, we're not going to get it passed. So they're going to have a kick at it, and hopefully we'll hear back from them soon. And there's a reason we've learned that why these things aren't done every 10 years. So hopefully we'll be able to go for another 10 years. Somebody will. Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And that's it for me, Your Worship.
Thank you very much, Councillor Hillier. And the next thing I see is procurement, and I believe that is Councillor Clooney this evening. Oh, no, sorry, Councillor Butler. I told you I'd forget.
Thank you, Your Worship. Procurement. 11A, approval to purchase one new single-axle dump truck with plow. Be it so resolved that approval is given to purchase one new single-axle dump truck with plow as per tender 25-08 terms from Royal Freightliner at a cost of $362,145 plus HST. Funds are available in capital fleet account. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Hardy, discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. By Craig.
Okay, just waiting for the next thing to come up. 11B, approval to lease a new waste collection truck. Be it so resolved that approval be given to lease a new and unused waste collection truck as per tender 25-09, terms from Canada's Big Truck Rental at a monthly lease rate of $12,200 plus HST. Funds are available in capital fleet account. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Deputy Mayor Goss, discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? And we are carried. Thank you, thank you, Councillor Butler. I've said Deputy Mayor a lot of times tonight. Orders, who's doing orders tonight? Nobody doing orders tonight? Oh, Councillor Tilley does everything tonight. Here we go. Councillor Tilley, take it away.
Item 12A, an order for civic number 142 Fowlers Road. Be it so resolved that the order issued on March 6, 2025, under the Towns and Local Service Districts Act and the Town of Concession Bay South Waste Disposal and Property Bylaw, ordering the property owner to remove a wrecked motorhome trailer and miscellaneous debris situated on the property located at 142 Fowlers Road, Conception Bay South, be rescinded. So moved.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Clooney, discussion? All in favor?
Yes, Your Worship, I would
Oh,
have,
sorry.
I would have gladly brought forward this order this evening because I drive past that site every day. And it's fabulous to see that the resident has taken our order to heart and has cleaned it up, and it's a whole different atmosphere as you drive by there.
Yeah, certainly is. Okay, all in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. That's all I see on the list for this evening. Next to an adjournment, so just want to echo what everyone around the table said. Merry Christmas to everybody, and we hope that everybody has a safe and happy Christmas, and see everybody back in the new year. And we're back here, I believe, on January the 20th. So nice fair break anyway, but lots of work to do in the meantime to get ready for that. I will call for a motion for adjournment. Moved by Councillor Hillier, seconded by Councillor Butler. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you very much. Good night.